Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Welcome back to round 2 of the pre-season testing in Austria for the RLR Tier 2 Premier Division. I'm joined today with the Wufafa.
Nice to be here, Ash. Nice to be here indeed.
It is indeed.
Looking forward to some fast and furious action around Spielberg.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be really, really exciting. Considering the race we've just seen for Tier 1, it's going to be tough to follow in terms of battles and competition.
Absolutely. I mean, if they can keep it out the walls, which seemed to be a bit of a problem in the last race, but it shows that the drivers are trying.
Exactly that. So
that's what we like to see. We like to see a good bit of effort.
Qualifying's going to be important here. So who's going to come out the pits first? Let's see. We'll ride on board with whoever comes out first. We'll do Haines's tradition. We'll look to carry that on in the RLR League. So the circuit length is 4.3 kilometres, only 10 corners. So quite a short circuit, really only about a 90 to 75 second track per lap. So a lot's going to be happening. We've got a lot of drivers heading out the track straight away.
And the first one that I've got is Mateus, otherwise known as... Oh no, different one. That was the name I got mixed up with it. So we've got Lugit.
Ugit. We've got Ugit.
So I see short names with J's and Y's and stuff in them, and I started getting all confused. But yeah, it's obviously key on such a short lap to make sure you warm up your tyres. These new profile of large tyres take a long time to cool. They come out cold from the blankets. I've not been on the game much today to tell you if the update has had that greater effect on it, but it's to be very, very key to make sure they get these fired up and ready to go on this starting lap. So he's doing quite a fast out lap.
It looks like they've changed some of the mechanics of the handling, but nothing too out of the ordinary for now. But anyway, let's go on board with Ugit for his first flying lap. Here we go, down the start, finish straight.
So he seems to have kept it inside the 1 line to make sure not to invalidate it before he comes onto the lap. He'll usually take a lot of curb going into this one. Make sure you avoid the sausage curb on the inside. But he seems to have gone straight over the top of that, bouncing over nicely. Moves over to the right hand side to try and avoid bottoming out on the left hand side. See if he takes a bit of curb going in to try and get a wide line here. As he does, make sure to miss the sausage curb in. You can use the outside sausage curb in to throw the car back in, but he'll power down now with a DRS. He takes a very sort of inside line there. Not that I wouldn't necessarily call that straight, but takes a lot of curbing again. Takes it nice and wide, but then keeps it relatively tight coming through there.
You can really ride that curb. However, this section, probably the most technical section of the track.
And is this an invalidation? No, he looks like he's lifted off and kept it nice and clean. Now this will be an invalidation.
Oh no, it's not.
Oh my goodness, how has he kept this?
He must have lifted. Oh, look at this. Coming into turn 10 now, the final turn. It's probably not going to be the best lap so far, but it's a start. So
well, I don't know, it depends how much time he saved going out of bounds.
You're just going to set us off with a 6.332. It's a good start from him.
And we've got Purge Up Roll coming around the last corners now. Through turn 9 downhill. Keeping on the curbing. Seeing that, taking a lot of curb as he kept it inside the lines. Just inside the line. How's he going to do?
Nice.
And about half a second behind.
And then I'm on board with TJ Goodyear, who's also just coming down turn 10 to the start-finish straight. What's he going to set? A 1... Oh, no. He's just started his hot lap. Okay, let's ride on board with him. So he comes through turn 1. Bit of a squirrely exit there. Coming down the long straight. It's really important you get a good turn out of turn 1 just to make sure you can have the best possible exit onto the long straight. Coming into turn 3 now. Good exit there. DRS activated. He's not using as much curb as I thought.
We've got all but 2 drivers out on track at the moment.
It's getting very, very busy. Oh, it looks like Thomas is invalidated. Yeah, he's invalidated.
And we have a spinner on the exit of turn 3. Who is that?
It looks to be... Can't have lost them. They're too quick for me. Let's go on board with...
Ready? Is that Chaos Druid? He's done the right thing, let everybody buy, but he wants to make sure he doesn't get himself invalidated by sitting on the track too long.
So I'm on board with Brian, currently P11, jet set time.
He wants to get offline.
He's on those out laps. I think ZRS is flashing, so I think he's just preparing those tyres, getting them up to temperature, getting ready for that first hot lap of the session.
So as I'm flicking through, we do seem to be getting a few people invalidating laps as they go around. That may be down to wanting to avoid traffic. We've also got quite a few drivers diving back into the pits now. I'm assuming to try and pick out points in the session where there's not so much traffic. Just following London Dan, who's on an invalid lap at the moment. Is he going in or is he about to start one? He's going very aggressive into the last turn, which makes me assume he's about to start a lap.
Yeah, he's starting. Here we go. Let's go on board with Dan in the Alpine. Brake at the 50-metre mark. Nice turn into turn 1. Very clean exit there. It's going to give him a nice run out to this long straight. DRS activated. Got a yellow flag. That'll just be cars moving out of the way. Coming up to turn 3 now. Brake at the 100-metre board.
Now he's going to have a lot of traffic coming out of here. Let's hope they get out of the way.
Good clean exit there. Short shift up to third. Coming down the DRS straight. He's not going to use the Ferrari for a tow there, but he is going to proceed down the straight again, braking at the 50-metre board, which seems to be missing, so I'm assuming someone's hit it. Nice exit there. Again, tucking right onto the right-hand side there. Nice sharp left turn.
He could have taken potentially a bit more curbing there,
yeah,
but he has kept it valid for now.
You have to be careful not to tuck it into that corner of turn 8 there. You cannot ride that inside curb or you will be spinning. That
I found it's a bit more forgiving this year, but it's still ultimately risky. Oh, and he's invalidated on the inside of turn 9.
Unlucky there.
Now, I probably have been in my past season or so been advising people that you can ride that curb, but obviously with riding any curb, there is always the risk of invalidation.
Exactly. I'm on board with Brian again, who is still putting his hot lap in. Again, just coming down that second straight, braking the 50-metre board. Nice sharp right. He gets a little bit unsettled.
I'm not sure if that's been settled or if that's just controller twitch.
No, there you go.
Oh,
that's unsettled.
Yeah. Commentator's
really
curse.
Sorry, Brian.
Double jeopardy with the commentators. Now, he's not beached, and the new regulations within the league is that you're not allowed to reset to track unless you are beached. So until he is beached, he needs to get this back on his own steam.
Dan's on another flyer.
Which he seems to be doing.
Just coming through sector 2, again going through turn 8, taking a lot of curb there. It's not been a good lap for him. It might actually be on his in lap.
It makes a lot of sense.
No, he's staying out. He needs to put a time in. I think he just wants to get a banker lap in for now. He's not having a lot of fun.
Just following Jake Gaming, who's just coming down the back straight, navigate. There always seems to be a Ferrari on the back straight.
At least there's not one barbecuing
there. Keeping it nice and tight. Shifting down to second.
Lovely.
Which is not something that every single driver does, but some drivers do like that rotation.
Keeping it real tight there.
Yeah, keep it very tight. Staying in 5th. I personally take it in 4th, but 5th's also good. Staying well away from the inside curve of turn 7. And again, turn 8. He does have cars ahead of him, but it should be far enough ahead not to be in his way coming through here. And he wants to take as much curb as possible to get the nicest angle.
Nice.
He just keeps it nice and inside.
Wow.
And fastest lap. Well done. And very, very clean lap. Very well inside the lines. Sometimes looking slow means you're going quite fast.
A really, really good lap. Really good lap there from Jake Gaming.
Now, is there anybody who we yet to see?
Deegan Eric, I'm on board with him. He's 700ths up. Just coming into sector 2 now. Looking like a really good lap so far. Braking at the 50-metre board. Again, tucking it right into that left corner there. Nice and wide on the exit. Careful on turn 7. A little bit too much curb there. I think he's backed out of it. Commentator's curse is well and truly underway tonight.
We've unfortunately got Zonneveld running around without a front wing. I wonder what happened to him. And once again, it's these Ferraris. As in real life, as on the game, they just can't seem to keep themselves out of the wars.
At least they're
now
not bursting
Bugs, who's
into
shown
flames.
himself a lot of promise in some of the pre-season events or some reserves for last season, is coming through on the back straight now. Looking for this disappeared 50-metre board to break for. Coming down. taking a minuscule amount of inside curb for turn 4, probably staying in the middle of the track, getting maximum traction. Should be taking a bit of curb on the outside,
Well,
taking minimal curb on the inside.
I think his ERS light's flashing, so I think he's preparing.
He actually hasn't. Oh, he's actually got. Oh, I think he's backed out with this one.
Well, it's thrown me off.
Yeah, he has very little. He's got only 4% ERS.
Well,
so maybe just a very fast in lap he's done. He was moving pretty fast.
Keeping those tyres warm before he comes out again. Hopefully he'll be on some new fresh ones though, that's for sure. So we've got Neil, the Great Wall of Neil, in that beautiful Mercedes with no side pods coming into the final turn. Is he coming into the pits? No, he's not. Coming into turn 10 now.
I think this is a lap. Comes across.
Oh, he's 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, unfortunately. So he's
I wonder what that lap was then, because it's
do.
quite a competitive lap time if it was just an out lap. Andy was using ERS, so I do wonder what was happening there.
He's got a bit of work to do, but I have every confidence that he can pull it off, that's for sure.
Now we are getting a bit bunched up on the first straight. Deegan Eric trying to find his place in it all.
Just on board with Top House Flogger, who is a Top House Flogger. I think he's on a flyer, or he's just preparing.
Well, no, he's still got most of his ERS left, so I imagine. And we've got a disqualification for Chaos Druid for blocking the pit exit, I believe that said.
Oh, no, what's happened there?
Right, so let's follow Top House Flogger around this lap. So he's not taking too much inside curb in the first corner. He is powering down the main straight, keeping right as to avoid the dip in the road, then pulls back over to the left, takes all the curbs he can to get a wide entry into turn 3. There's a little bump, takes a lot of outside curbing, but uses that sausage curb to throw his car back onto the track. A lot of drivers keeping in the middle or going to the right hand side of this back straight, but falling back over to the left hand side, entering into turn 4, doing it nicely through there. Very, very level out of turn 4. Now keeping the tightest line possible, all the way to the right, going into turn 5. I mean, downhill. Oh, I think he had a bit of a moment on the curb there as he pulls towards the centre of the track, but he's keeps it tucked in for the next corner.
Lovely, here we go. Coming up to turn 9 now again, braking for the 50-metre board, keeping it tucked right onto that curb. That's about as much
curb as you want to do.
Exactly.
Doesn't use all the curb on the outside before 10. Potentially could have got a bit more drive out of turn 10, but here he comes.
Oh,
he does move up.
Temps up. There's a 106.709 for Top House Flogger. Lovely, lovely lap there. Have we got Neil? He's on another flyer. Again, he's 5 seconds up. I think he's coming in. He's got no ERS left, so I can only assume
I'm just following Jaws on the back straight, who's just slightly up. He's about 300ths up. Looking to improve. That mid-pack is quite packed, so this could, despite small improvements, could have a dramatic effect. He's keeping it tight, just like Top House Flogger was, going into turn 5, heading downhill, using a lot of curb, but invalidates, unfortunately.
Oh. You're very welcome, Ralphie. No problem. Chaos Druid he spun at turn 1, then as I was moving out, it DQ'd me. Okay, so still a bit of a game error, unfortunately. But hopefully
it must have been close enough to the pit exit to count it as a dangerous position.
Hopefully it doesn't jeopardise the race too much for you. I'm on board with Caesar in the Aston Martin. We all know Greg loves an Aston Martin. He's just coming into sector 2 now.
Mean green machines. Chooses not to use too much of the curb going to turn 5, but then does keep it quite tight going down the hill.
Oh, we've got a Haas-off track there. Lovely. Coming into turn...
This is very, very, very flat and level coming into the turn 9.
Again, how much curb is he going to take?
Keep going all the way left.
Oh no, he's backed out.
I mean, it's fantastic speed going into the pits. Yeah. If he does that in the race, he'll be laughing.
These drivers are setting some amazing in-laps, I'm telling you.
Oh, we've got a spinning Hassan Brian going into the pits. He almost made it a wonderful 360.
Well, watch those tyres, buddy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
So London Dan's having a really, really tough time down there, keeping it inside the lines. But I think this might just be his out lap, or at least an invalidated lap. He has regained a lot of his ERS, but he hasn't turned it off, seemingly. So here he comes on to the start of his new lap. Let's see if he can finally put a lap together.
Have to be so careful with turn one. You've got to make sure you get this right. You've got to be so precise, and he does. Amazing. Lovely turn there. Heading out to the long straight now. Probably reaching speeds around about 195, 200 miles an hour. Super quick this straight. We're going to see a lot of action on this. And the race going into turn 3 now, keeping it nice and tucked. Lovely exit there. Going straight down the second DRS straight.
Will he have the other Alpine ahead of him to give him a tow? No, they've pulled out. But I think he'll accept that for the braking zone being clear. Use a lot of the inside curb. Keeps it tight on the exit. Nice and inside the track.
Right into that right-hander there. Again, keeping it hugged to that left curb.
This is typically where he's been struggling.
Lovely. It's much better.
I think he's potentially a small lift off there going through. He's really sticking to his lines a bit more this time. They may be sacrificing some speed to try and get the lines he wants.
Turn 9, again, not enough curb. Maybe a little bit too wide there.
But he's kept it valid.
Oh, on the last corner,
now he's invalidated.
Too much corner. I think he's struggling with this new update. There has been, and he was 1.2 seconds up as well.
I've got a feel for the man, my old teammate.
Such a shame. It's that Alpine, it's the cursed Alpine. We'll blame it on the car. Right, we've got Retro Ghost. He has shown good promise.
Lap at the moment, I think.
Oh, he is, yeah. Is he charging to go again? No, he's not.
If he is, he's potentially not going to have quite the charge on the next lap.
No, he's still using the RS.
Flogger, is he on a slow one or is he pushing?
I'm guessing they're brothers. Top car flogger and a top house flogger. I guess they like flogging their stuff. He looks like he's on a slow, yeah.
Yeah. But Deegan Eric, who's really pushing, he's still got loads of VRS left. Coming into turn 4. We're waiting to see we see that next delta. Lots of curb usage. He uses both curbs going through turn 4. Going as tight as he can. Going into turn 5 down the hill. Carrying a lot of speed.
Watch that curb. Lovely.
Purple
he's backed out
middle
a little
sector.
Bit. Deegan Eric coming up into sector 3 now. Again, turn 9. Here we go. 50-metre board brakes. Hug that curb. Little bit
he's gone
wide. Keep it tucked. Okay, that'll work.
He must have lifted slightly. Hope he doesn't compromise his lap too much. He has moved up marginally, but I feel there's a lot more time on the table there that he could have gained.
He had a bit of an issue sector 2, or no, sector 3, sorry, in those sort of turn 7, turn 8, but I'm sure he'll rectify that and he'll be back out in no time.
Now we've got Lujit just starting a lap to hopefully challenge for pole. The Williams, you're not used to seeing this season challenging for the lead, but here we go. He's got the Haas car ahead of him, maybe getting a minor slipstream. Hopefully he moves out the way by turn 3. He does. Moves all the way to the left. Takes a fair bit of the curb. Use the sausage curb on the outside to bring the car back in.
Coming up to
powers down.
Coming up to turn 4. Now just going to tuck it in. Use all that curb. A little bit wide there. Lovely. Now there's a lovely exit. Good exit there. Keep it tucked right onto that right hander. Again, 50-metre board, slam on those brakes, keep it tucked into that left-hand curb.
Oh, he's marginally... Oh, how has he kept that inside the lines?
He's onto a fast one here, coming into the last couple of corners now. Here we go, turn 9.
There's one of the few that might be vying for pole position here. Lots of curb on the inside, but he's gone wide. But he's kept it.
He's invalidated.
I think he gave up on the lap too early. He kept it in and then he gave up.
That would have been such a good lap. Unlucky, Egypt. Try again. We've got Thomas, again, he's also invalidated. I think we're going to see a lot of track limits tonight, Greg, to be fair.
Yeah, it was pretty prominent in the last session.
Yeah, it was pretty prominent, but hopefully the guys can set a better example tonight, maybe, we'll see.
Now we have Deegan Eric, nearly a 10th up on his time, but he does have traffic ahead of him. Could this be a problem? He's closing on the AlphaTauri car ahead.
It doesn't look like the car ahead's on an outlap either, though, so he needs to move out the way.
But that could be a blessing in disguise if he does keep pushing the line and gives him slipstream. May not be thankful for it in the downhill section of turn 9 and 10. He's getting ever closer. Hopefully it's always like, once again, another driver going wide. Don't give up on the lap. Push it to the line. He's got the absolute perfect toe. Is anyone going to take it? He moves up to P4.
Nice, lovely.
That gaggle between second to... Well, I mean, there's about a 10th covering 10th to 7th, second to 7th.
Got Zonderveld just about to cross the line now. P2, what's he going to take? He goes quicker, but it's still not enough. I think he went about 3/10 quicker there. But again, Jake Gaiman setting a ridiculously fast time. It's going to be difficult to beat. And it looks like
he set that pretty early on as well. The track wasn't even ramped up.
Everyone is pretty much across the line now. I think that's everything. I think that's all of them.
It is. We've got pits and checkered flags, and that's the end of the session.
We've got Jay Gaming on pole. Congratulations to you, my friend. Zonderveld P2. It's great to see you up there in the Ferrari. Ujit P3. Deegan P4. Again, could have probably squeezed up into those podium positions or even put it on the front row if he just had a bit of a better exit in terms of turn 10, turn 9. Thomas in P5. Purge Uproar in P6, P7, Top Car Flogger, who is also reserving today. Few Stings, again, another new driver to the league, got a lot to offer. Agava Texan in the Alpha Tauri P9, and the P10 is Top House Flogger. So you got the two brothers, P10 and P7, both racing for different teams, but let's see what they can do. I wonder if they'll be racing hard against each other, that's for sure. So, Greg, if you're going to be overtaken anywhere other than the straights, where would it be? Don't say the corners. What's the most popular corner to overtake on? Is he there?
Sorry, I was muted there.
That's right, mate.
So I think the most common corner for overtaking is usually turn 3, which is understandable because you can gain a lot of speed difference on the car ahead. But ultimately, overtaking to turn 3 isn't always the best option because you can end up really, if you get the overspeed on that car and then you get ahead, then you're a sitting duck for the DRS on the final DRS straight of the lap. So you've really got to play it tactical between the DRS zones. It's no good just planning one DRS straight. You've got to account for them all on this track. The main straight, the pit straight, isn't necessarily one to really consider. Usually the speed deficits you take out of turn 9 and 10 don't usually give you a good enough setup to overtake on that corner, and it's certainly not a great corner to overtake on turn 1 considering potential damages you may take on the inside or the outside considering the sausage curbs. So I expect to see most overtaking done in either turn 3 or turn 4, but will people risk turn 4 considering the multi-year contacts that we've seen between Mercedes and Red Bulls on the exit of turn 4? It will sit in the back of their minds.
It looks like we're about to go, Greg. Sorry to interrupt you there, but it's 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Here we go. Jake Gaiman getting off to an awful start there. Zonderveld taking P1. Deegan Eric jumping up into P2. Eugene jumping up into P3. Coming through the turn 1 now. It's looking pretty clean to start with. Really, really good from the drivers.
As we have Zonderveld, who has just launched himself into the lead. I'm not quite sure where he started from. He's just started from second. He's gone up to one place despite all that chaos that was happening just there.
Look, he's starting to gap them already. Look at this, about half a second in front.
Now Deegan Eric very interested in Lujit. We've got so many position changes going on from about 5th down to 8th. We've got a McLaren of Top House Flogger stuck on the curb. So a lot of people have been catching him, overtaking him.
Alpha Tower just taking a dive down the inside there. Lovely from Agava Texan, just moving up into P7 there. And we've got Ujit, who's fast on the tail of Zonderveld up in P1, scrapping really hard going into the turn 9 here.
He considered turn 9.
He's just backed out. I think he's going to try and have him on the straight as long as he gets a good exit here.
He does get a very good exit, but he does seem to have depleted a lot of his ERS already, which is, even within the first lap, that's quite hard to do.
That's a very dangerous position to be in. Unless he's used his allocation for the lap, then I can assume that's all he's done. Because his lights are not flashing anymore, so he's just used the allocation he had for his lap, that's all. So he's going to put the charge on now as he overtakes.
You just need to keep a close eye on Top House Flogger, because he does seem to be glitching a little bit ahead of Jake Gaming, who has gone for the move and has
Deegan Eric side by side. Deegan Eric side by side with Zonderveld going into turn 4.
Oh.
Great battle for the podium positions here. He's just keeping
Top Flogger's really making the Alpha Tower of Agava Texan really. He's got past him, But there was a bit hairy there for a second with
Oh.
some of the glitching.
There's contact between Deegan and Zonneveld. Oh, they're scrapping. He's put him on the gravel. He's just managed to keep it. No, he's just managed to keep it. No spins for now.
And
Lovely
we've got
start
Top
from
Car
these drivers.
Flogger dropping down the order significantly. There's a lot of dirt on that car considering there's only 2 laps in. And we've got Purge Uproar who's just spinning at the back. Down 14 places from the start. I wonder what's happened to him.
He's not had a great start, unfortunately.
We've still got Deegan Eric chasing down Lugit, about half a second behind, and he's going to have a great run if he keeps up this closing distance coming out of turn 3.
There's a lot of
So
position
much
changes
movement at
going
the
on at the
back.
top. Yeah, Brian moving up into P14. He's moved up 1 position now. He's now starting to put the pressure on into turn 3 on the Williams of the
Will
TJ
Deegan
Goodyear.
take a dive down the outside?
Oh, looks like
He's keeping it, and he's getting a wide drive, but is he going to have the speed to put it down the inside of 5?
you just
No.
charging his ERS though. He is charging his ERS, so it's all about being clever and being tactical now. It's just harvesting that battery, making sure you're ready for the next attack. Because
And we've got London Dan making an attack on the Chaos Druid, went round the outside, I think they touched.
it's looking very, very close. This is
And we've
very,
got
very
Caesar
interesting.
taking a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
We've got a yellow flag, sector 2 and 3 at Caesar. Yeah, he is. I think he's off track. I think he's also going very, very slow. Looks like he'll be falling away from the pack now, unfortunately.
And he looks like he's got another one.
Got the Great Wall of Neil, who's now starting to put the pressure on Jaws.
And we
up
have a
in P8.
DNF of the Chaos Druid. This may
And
be
there's
a safety. We
car.
have a safety
Yep,
car.
Safety car. Lap 4. Lap 4. Okay, so in terms of strategies, nothing should really happen too much. I assume most of the drivers will stay on the compounds that they're running at the minute.
Aside from maybe some of the soft runners.
Yeah.
Of those, we have TJ Goodyear, Retro Ghost, and Stings. Stings, I think, may well go into the pits. And unsurprisingly, Caesar has retired in the pits because with those being corner cut and time penalties, he was never going to get rid of those.
No. So UJIT leads the race after a very eventful 4 laps. Our apologies if we couldn't keep up with it all. There's only two sets of eyes. So, yeah. So, looking at the order, Deegan Eric again had a really good start. And where's our pole sitter got to? Our pole sitter's fallen all the way back to 17th. What's happened there? He has come into the pit, so he's gone for the hard tyre. So it looks like he's going to try
At least stretch that to whenever the next event is.
Yeah, don't say safety car. Don't jinx it.
Could be a virtual, could be an opportunity. Oh, and he's underestimated the heat of his tyres, and he's gone wide at turn 3.
It's not going to be good. Well, this opens up the race again.
Do we have a snake forming yet? Yes, we do.
So it gives the grid it gives the rest of the grid a chance to just catch up and again reset and go again. So really, it's still all to play for. Super tight racing, super close racing, which is exactly what we wanted. So congrats and well done to Robbie for sorting out these new tiers. They're definitely giving the viewers what they want to see. That's for sure.
So that's exactly what we want to see: tight, competitive racing. Obviously, you're never going to form a grid that's absolutely perfect, where everyone can compete for absolutely everything. But seeing that all the drivers are in a relevant class and can realistically keep within the battles that are on track is what we want to see.
Chaos Druid, what happened? What happened to you, buddy? I see you down in the comments there. I noticed you've DNF, but let us know what happened in the comments. So I imagine we'll probably do at least one more, maybe 2 more laps with the safety car before we get it going again.
Yeah, because we've got Jake Gaming and Purge both, I'd probably say just over about 30 seconds behind the main pack, which in Austria is most of the lap, or at least half the lap.
Half a lap, either a quarter of a lap. But, I mean, if you're sat in P1 now, Greg, how are you going to restart this race? Are you going to wait for the checkered? Are you going to wait for the checkered line, or are you going to get a good run off out of turn 10?
Oh, sorry to just interrupt you there. Jake Gaming has just span
Oh,
on
no.
trying to reach, or an unfortunate time that man is having. But to answer your question, Ash, I mean, it's a hard one because I think you've also got to take into consideration the age of the tyres. I mean, there's no point powering out of turn 9 and 10 unless you're sure that you've got a tyre advantage leading out of the corners. So I'd say if you have some of the softer compounds, which seemingly isn't the case because everyone down to P9 is all on the same compound and age of tyre.
True, I think they'll be playing the long game, that's for sure. You know, I think for them it's just going to be about making these mediums last as long as they can until a safety car or VSC or an event happens that really makes a pit stop come into their favour. Because for now, stopping on the mediums just probably isn't the right thing to do. Jake Gaming, however, has taken that option. Again, might be at the back of the pack now, but I wonder how long he can stretch these these hard tyres out to. Looking at the race from earlier, it was a bit of a mix of strategies. Obviously, there was a lot of safety cars. There's probably about 3 or 4, but it really did sort of mix up the strategies completely. Jake Gaming again. I'm going to stop talking about him because every time I do, something happens. I'm really sorry, Jake. He's just picked up a 3-second tyre penalty, probably for track limits there, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's just trying desperately to catch up with the pack because, by all means, it's great if you can arrive on the scene of a safety car in this lap with wonderfully warm tyres, but it's no good if you're 5 seconds behind the pack on restart. But it looks like he's going to catch up now.
Exactly, it's looking like the start will probably be happening at the end of lap 7. I wonder what Ujit's going to do in terms of pace control. Is he going to go for it quick, or is he going to drag it out until the start line? Who knows?
He's got to be quite conscious on the restart here because, as we found out on the game, if you do restart prematurely, the game will stall your car. The drivers have been warned about this in previous seasons that if you do catch that stall, you will be held responsible because all the drivers should be aware of it. I mean, it doesn't seem to slow down all that much. Safety car is only just starting to get away. I mean, he can follow the safety car pretty closely. And,
yeah, but it gives him a poor run out of turn 10, and it's going to put him at risk. But it looks like he's got control of the pack now as the safety car comes in. I don't think, by the looks of it, he's going to mess around. There's a lot of mud on that car for a car that's 7 laps old, I must admit. So hope he can keep it a bit cleaner. But it looks like he's gone for it straight away. Yeah, he's gone for it straight away. Deegan Eric, again, he's got quite a good jump there. He's about 6 tenths behind already. So let's see what happens. It looks like who's just made a move there going into turn 1.
Oh, I think it was the Texan just had a bit of a wiggle on the turn 1 sausage curb.
Neil capitalising on Jaws. He's just taken P7 away from Jaws. Neil
Bubs has just moved up past Top Car Flogger, who is ghosted at the moment.
Neil, a big name in the RLR community. He's known for his immense defending, but he's also known for some immense attacking as well, which I'm sure you're going to see a little bit of this evening, that's for sure. Pack's starting to get a little bit spread out now. No one really looking to make any overtakes. Yeah. You've got Top Car Flogger again. He's right on the back of that Aston Martin there, Bubs P13.
He is unfortunately ghosted. And just slightly ahead of them, we do have Retro Ghost and TJ Goodyear battling. Retro Ghost going for the outside line, going to turn 9. And you know what? Wide. Oh, I was just about to say he made it, but then I had an unfortunate camera angle to see if he'd made it or not. But he has stayed with him. He's still right on his gearbox. So
DRS should be enabled this lap, if I'm correct. Is this the second lap now? All sector 1 yellow flag.
We've got a lot of movement.
It's a Mercedes. It's Neil. It's the commentator's
Neil and
curse
Jaws.
Again. I'm so sorry, Neil. So sorry.
Do you know what it is? We mentioned his name but didn't mention the Great Wall. That's what it is. You can't say one without the other.
Few stings just losing out there to Bubs and Top House Flogger, but it looks like P10 to P15 is quite busy. Retro Ghost again leading that little train of cars there. You've got the two McLarens, Bubs in the Aston Martin, and then you've also got Fuse in the Mercedes as they're heading into...
Top House Flogger going down the inside of Stings. And Sting's just getting a little bit squirm in the exit as he had to take the off-camber line. And we have a yellow flag. And Jake Gaming again.
This has not been his race, unfortunately.
I think he's just really struggling to fire up these hard tyres.
DRS now enabled going into Thomas into turn 1. He's going to have DRS up against Deegan Eric. Coming up the straight now. DRS fully activated. He's going to have
best thing he can do now is pull up to behind him.
He's backed off. Good move.
And then
very
get
sensible.
the best exit he can. Coming out of turn 3. But it does look like Deegan Eric does get a good drive out of there. So he's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, unfortunately.
Retro Ghost just getting a little bit twitchy outside of turn 3 there, which is giving the teammate Top House
They've got 4 cars battling into turn 4.
This is great.
Bubs and Stings ahead of the McLarens. And Top House Flogger going down the inside. Brilliant move if he can hold it.
Lovely move there. Is he going to hold it? Well, it looks like Bubs is putting on
Bubs
the defence.
has kept it to the inside, kept tyre line.
He's backed out. He's had to back out there.
Well done to Bubs. I mean, they could have caused a calamity for both of them there.
Thomas back up in P3 again, just coming through turn 10 now on the start-finish straight. DRS wide open. He's going to have a lot of more top speed cut. He's going to go into turn 1 side by side. Can they keep it clean? Oh, he does. He just gets in front and he still takes DRS going down the long straight. Good move there from Thomas, moving up into P2.
Eric is still relatively close behind. I wouldn't count him out just yet. He does have a good top speed. And he does come back. He gets a brilliant exit.
Lovely
exit.
He's
taking the slipstream as well.
It looks like Eric's just running maybe a slightly bit more downforce. Sorry, but a slightly bit less downforce. He's maybe got a little bit more straight line speed. Maybe he's got a bit more battery to defend with.
It's starting to show that Thomas is really starting to drive out the corners. He just needs to break that DRS window.
Bubs back in P10 with Purge Uproar, Top House Flogger again. Another 4-car battle. This is absolutely immense.
As Bubs gets a little bit slow off turn 4.
A bit of contact there between Purge. A bit of contact there between Purge and Top House Flogger. And again, just going into turn 6, heading down to turn 7 now. And again, Purge Uproar's just taking the position from Top House Flogger there.
Yeah, Purge down to Neil is so close right now.
Very, very close. This is exactly what we wanted. Close racing, nail-bitingly close, dangerously close.
So and as I say that,
Top House Flogger's just spun out, just reversing into the pit lane there. Watch those tyres, buddy, take it easy. That's going to leave him in P15. He's going to return to track. That's unfortunate for him.
He's just spun past the pit.
Jaws just getting past a few Stings there, and again, he's probably not too far away.
And we've got London Dan getting he was very close to Rook. I'm not sure if he had a bad exit out of turn 3. As we have a DNF of Agrava Texan, who's been doing some brilliant racing.
And that's a safety car.
And you know what? Stings may be absolutely laughing. He's just pitted.
Safety car, free stop for Stings. Well, not a free stop, but he's going to be laughing. He's going to move up the grid, that's for sure. So, well done to him. Fuse didn't have the best of starts, but I think, again, that's probably coming to his favour. So the race gods are definitely blessed.
As we go around, we've got Lugit in, Thomas in, Zonveld. Stewards may want to look at that. Either him or Deegan Eric there went very late over the white line into the pits.
Eric's in. London Dan staying out on the mediums. Maybe he has an idea of what's going to be unfolding later on in this race. Maybe he's gambling on another safety car. So he moves up into provisional P1.
Now, mate, is London Dan. He must be banking on another safety car. Now, it's not always the worst idea to consider that you may get...
Whoa!
London Dan has been disqualified for ignoring a yellow flag.
He didn't ignore a yellow flag. Whoa, that's... Okay. Something's not right with the game there, as from my TV screen, he definitely didn't ignore any yellow flags. He just drove... He drove past the pit lane where Ugit was getting his pit stop done. So therefore there was no cars for him to overtake. So quite confused as to what's happened there. Maybe the stewards will probably have to look at that after the race.
Yeah.
So
Dan, if you're listening, please record and report the game there. Obviously, very little we can't give you the what your achievements in the race would have been, but we can certainly look to see what can be avoided next time around once we get into the season.
Looks like Chris Bonzett in the comments has said he drove past the safety car. Now, maybe he did, but if I know Dan well enough, I can't imagine he would have, unless he was, for
Unless he
whatever
didn't
reason,
recognise the position he was in.
Unless he was trying to unlap himself by accident, which, again, he may not have known what position he was in. Or Ugit looks like he's picked up a time penalty there as well for whatever reason. What's he got that for?
I mean, if he drove past the safety car, I mean, unfortunately, as the lead car overtaking the safety car, that is a slam dunk disqualification.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not a game fault. I mean, I know potentially what's happened is that he's got an in-game message to tell him to overtake the safety car. Now, unfortunately, you do just have to be a little bit savvy in knowing which ones to listen to and which ones to ignore. We've seen it a lot. Often when you're behind the safety car, it will throw up messages saying such and such a driver is out of the race, you should overtake them, but that's not the case. Those need ignoring. And I potentially think that's what has happened to Dan. He's had that message and he's followed it.
It's something that EA definitely need to address in Codemasters. They definitely need to address some of these in-game errors, especially for league racing purposes, because it's not going to be fun running a league or racing in leagues if the rules are going to be like this, if the game's going to be a bit glitchy still.
Oh, and TJ Goodyear is going to get absolutely caught out here. Safety car in this lap, and he is 4 corners away.
Oh no, he's got a lot of catching up to do. I don't think that was planned. Looks like Ugit's going to control the pace. What's he going to do this time? Hopefully his tyres are up to temperature. If not, he's going to need to be careful outside of that turn 10. Looks like he's still trying to get some temperature into them now.
Now, I think with hard tyres, he probably wants to run this to the line.
No, he's gone.
No, he's gone.
I thought he was going to go wide there. Lovely restart from him again. He's really had that dial today. Again, he's jumped 7 tenths on Thomas already coming into turn 1. Looks like Deegan Eric's hot on the tail of Thomas. Again, getting a good exit outside of turn 1.
We've got a few movers in the back. Neil is getting absolutely swamped by the Red Bulls as he goes wide and unsettling over himself on the sausage curbs. 2 by 2.
This is where Neil's most comfortable when he's defending.
Oh, with
Can he
3
hold on to
wide
it?
going into 3. Oh, and thankfully that Red Bull of Top House Fogger is ghosted, otherwise Neil would have been bounced around like a pinball there. As we head up, as Stings is making a move on Brian, as the McLaren behind takes a super strange wide line to try and get a cutback on Purge. Doesn't seem to come off for him though.
He's still going for it though. Again, you've got to be quite careful through this technical sector of the track. Coming into turn 7 now. Turn 8. Just keeping it nicely tucked behind the Haas there. Is he going to make a move on this straight? We've got a yellow flag, sector 2. Who is that?
Looks like one of the McLarens. That might be Top House Flogger.
Looks like Ugit again. Set a 1:08.381, the fastest lap there. Good, starting to pull away now, but looks like Thomas has broken the DRS. He is going to have DRS. He did. I noticed that Ugit did just push him out of the DRS a little bit there.
And Purge is right on the gearbox.
Here we go.
Of Brian round the outside. He just looks like he's got a different compound on the speed he's gaining.
Lovely straight line speed there.
Oh,
but he
he's
does run it
overshot
wide.
it.
No, runs it 1 to turn 3 again. Still manages to get the exit. He's going to take it all the way down. It's long straight here. Hopefully put it on the inside, defend it.
He has really fired up those tyres. That mistake was just a blip. If he can keep this potential up in these tyres, he should pull away from Brian now.
Few stings again, half a second off Bubs. Starting to spread out again a little bit now. Hopefully DRS can bring a few drivers back into contention. Neil just landed a 3-second time penalty there. It's quite unfortunate for him. Again, Thomas getting a lot of time penalties starting to come up now. This is not going to be good for those.
Closest foul on track is currently a Rook on Zonveld, who's just been granted the gift of DRS. Now he should just close up into turn 1. As we can get a good exit here, he'll be right on the back of Zonveld into turn 3. He does. He's slightly
Zonneveld's going to be a bit of
closing.
a sitting duck here. There's not going to be a lot he can do other than just hold out for his battery and get the defence
He does
covers
defend,
off the
but I'd say
inside.
that's defending. But Aruka's gone a bit wide there. He's not got the exit that he wanted.
Left him vulnerable to Bubs. It's going to get caught in a bit of a DRS train now. There's a few position moves at the back. You've got Top Car, Flogger up in P13. He's just taken P4. He's just taken P13 from Neil. But it's not over yet. Again, this man has got some incredible attacking skills. So
And
just going to try and throw it up the inside there. Oh, he just backs out of it though.
And Thomas seems to have backed off of those few laps, let Lugit burn all his energy, and now he's right on his tail again.
Still got 50% ERS left, and again, Ugit has nothing in the tank by the looks of it. He is, yeah, he's got 3% ERS left, and again, with just under half of the race left to go. It's not an ideal position to be in. It's left himself very vulnerable going into turn one there.
Yes, and he's defended thin air there and given himself a poor corner. Thomas is going to be all over this.
We've got Deegan Eric coming up the back from P3 as well. Can he capitalise on the fact that
this will be a
has
big
no ERS?
dive if he goes for it?
Oh, lovely. That's tight. That's very, very tight.
That's very tight. That's about as much of a dive bomb as we allow in this league. Well done, Deegan Eric.
He's going to have DRS. They both have DRS. But again, Ugit's just putting the defence up, chucking it down the inside there, Eric. But again, Ugit just able to hold him off for a couple more corners. Great bit of battle in there. Lovely bit of battling. We've got a few
As we have movement down the bottom, Jake Gaming is up to... Oh, he said he was up to 11th, but he's now gone... I think he's had a spin. This man has got no luck today.
A few stings was just hot on the tail of Bubs there, but again, he's just backing off a little bit, trying to get out of that dirty air, trying not to affect his
Bubs
tyres
is just
too much.
using a ruck for the DRS to defend. I mean, sometimes, like you saw Fernando Alonso do in the French GP at the weekend, you just use your position on track to maintain your battles, to maintain your position.
Greg, he just left himself very, very vulnerable as he's coming down with the DRS. He's coming down that first straight, heading up to turn 3. He just doesn't have any battery left in the tank to be able to catch Thomas. Again, they are going side by side out of turn 3. He's going to have DRS, but unfortunately, he hasn't really got the battery to support him, so he's just relying on the tow now. The slipstream
all
from
he's got
Thomas.
now is his brakes, and he keeps it very tight. Does
still side by
Thomas
side,
quite wide, but Lugit does have his tyres fired up a
squeezing
little
him
bit
to the
better.
outside there. Lovely, moving it down the inside. Oh, it looks like Ugit's probably just going to back out of this one, play it safe.
But they both compromised their lines going into turn 5, which has allowed Deegan Eric to close right up.
Coming into turn 9 now, side by side is very, very risky. Does it pay off? Could turn 10, keep it nice on the inside. Oh, he's managed to take P1 again, but he's going to have DRS to answer back.
I say the favourite going to turn 3, I think, is going to be Deegan Eric.
Oh, look, Deegan Eric's just breezing past both of them there into turn 1. Oh, a little bit of contact
Gets
there
a bit
from
spice
Thomas.
on the outside and brings Zonneveld into this. 4 cars all going into turn 3 within car lengths of each other.
This is amazing.
Zonneveld may not go for all of the moves into one. He may get one and then go for the rest.
Thomas going a little bit deep, missing his braking zone there. Again, Zonneveld is probably going to pick up on that and capitalise on the fact that Thomas just missed his braking point.
But he's going to have nowhere to go into the braking zone unless Lugit goes deep, which he doesn't really. He backs him up. This battle at the front is bringing everybody into it. Everybody back to P8 has got DRS.
Lovely driving here, lovely driving. Deegan Eric keeping his cool, managing to just start to form a tiny gap away from Ugit, which again is going to give him just a little bit of breathing space, which is probably what he needs right now. But Deegan Eric has the advantage. He's got all the RS left. Ugit and Thomas again really struggling for battery. If I were them, I would probably try and harvest as much as I can for the rest of the race, or gamble on the fact that there may be another safety car. So we're going into turn 1 again. Who's going to capitalise on this straight now?
As Bubs goes down the inside of Aruka, who just got on the curb there, and it slingshots himself straight into another DRS window. And Lugit under.
Ugit just creeping up the inside there. They're going to go side by side. Again, they're going to go side by side into turn 4.
Goes for the extreme inside. Can he slow it down? I think he went a bit too tight going into there. He needs a bit of room to turn.
It's opened him up to Thomas as well. Again, this is going to be a great battle, I reckon, all the way to the end for this P1, P3 positions, that's for sure. Zonneveld and Bubs, again, Bubs closing in the gap now on Zonneveld. Starting again, about 2 tenths behind. Again, Ugit again back in P2, again side by side into turn 9. So
Thomas
much action going
has
on
got
here.
Past it. Oh, and we have
there's been a spinner.
Ugit's
lost it. He's lost it. That's so unfortunate.
He just got clipped by Thomas, who went round the outside. That's so unfortunate. He was putting a good battle in.
That puts Zonneveld up into P3, Bubs up into P4. Again, it really brings P1 to P7 all into contention for a podium position. Again, Jaws 4 seconds behind that pack. Again, also running a bit of a train behind them as well.
Peugeot goes up the inside, and we have more spinners.
Eric spun as well. The pressure's starting to get to these drivers. It's a very, very intense race, that's for sure. So put Zonneveld in the Ferrari in P1. Thomas not too far behind him again, with Bubs right behind him in P3.
But it is, yeah, it's good to see that all 3 of the drivers that have just been involved in incidents have all managed to continue.
Very, very good. We don't like to see a lot of DNFs. We have lost, unfortunately, 4 cars already.
As Lugit, despite having dirty tyres, despite being down in ERS, is still making moves back up the positions. And he fancies another one on Brian. Now he does have a bit of a gap to the next cars, so he will have to defend with minimal ERS.
He has put himself in the DRS though, so it's going to leave Neil sort of vulnerable as he comes through turn 1 now. If he doesn't get that DRS from Brian in front up in B8. Again, this battle for P3 up to P1 still super tight. These drivers are leaving no margin for error. Zonneveld again
Bubs gets a very good run on Thomas. But both with DRS, this is going to take a late diving manoeuvre, and no, Bubs thinks better of it.
Smart driving, smart driving. Keep your patience and pick your moves wisely. It's the best advice I could ever give. So Deegan Eric again is just about to make a move on the inside of Neil. Holds the line, pushes Neil to the outside, hugs that inside corner. Again, Neil strong on the defence, pushing. He's had to back out of it. Smart again from Neil. Had to concede a place for now. Yeah. Top Car Flogger again capitalising on the fact that Neil just had to back out. So the Red Bull of Top Car Flogger and Jake Gaming both moving up into P10 or P11.
We have
now.
Another spinner of. Is that a Mercedes? I think it was just maybe Neil getting a bit held on it. We have a Mercedes stopped on track.
Clever tactic here from Top House Flogger. I'm not too sure what he's thinking. He might want to go to the end on these soft tyres, or he might be banking for a safety car, but he has come into the pits on lap 23 for a set of soft tyres.
Can we take a small moment just to appreciate... Oh, and we have a spinner of...
It's Bubs. It's Bubs in the Aston Martin. Again, it's that turn 3, I think.
Yeah.
It's that turn 3. It's just...
But I will further reiterate, let's take a moment to appreciate the job that Stings has done. I'm pretty sure when he originally pitted, he pitted from P9, just as the safety car was coming out. His tyres are only 1 lap older, and he's gained all these positions as the safety car, and he's holding it up there.
He was up into, I think he was up into about P16, P17 last time I was on board with him. So yeah, he's had an amazing race. Really, really good recovery from him. Great drive.
As Thomas is all over the back of Zonneveld as they start approaching lapping traffic.
Watch that weave in Zonneveld. Yeah, he's kept it straight. Oh, he's going to squeeze him onto the outside, going onto the grass there up to turn 1. He does manage to get the move done.
Bravery! Oh, then he goes off the track.
Thomas had to go off track. Zonneveld just capitalising on the fact he's got the DRS wide open there. He's going to breeze past. Oh, we've got a safety car. We've got a safety car. What's happened? Looks like it's the Red Bull that's gone off at turn 10. What's happened there?
Thomas, that's not your position. I don't think you'll get told to give that back.
It's the Red Bull of Jake Gaiman. He's had an incident at turn 10. He has DNF'd, unfortunately. Thomas picking up a 3-second penalty there. I think.
I think what Thomas is doing there, he was just looking to see if he'd had the overtake done on Zonneveld as the safety car got called, so they were side by side negotiating, waiting to see which way the position was being given. Now, I would be highly surprised if every single driver here doesn't go onto the softs.
Or, for those who haven't used mediums, which I think may be a few, they may be wise to go on the mediums. However, looking at the last race, softs are probably the tyre to go on as well. Like you said, Greg, you can definitely do 10 laps. But Zonneveld stays out. Thomas stays out. Fuse stays out. Arik out. George.
Nugent has pitted.
Bubs comes in.
Now, as good as these drivers are doing, I do think some of them are definitely going to lose out to these soft runners.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a bit of a gamble, but I reckon you should be coming in for these soft tyres right now.
And Neil, who pitted as soon as the safety car came out, how many of these positions is he going to gain?
Really, P11 to P14, you know, it makes sense for them to change their tyres now, even if it is for mediums or softs. They've got nothing to lose, you know, they just want to try and get up into the points as quickly as they can. So, fair play to them, you know, the aggressive strategy is the one for them for now, that's for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, for these top guys now, they are outnumbered.
They are.
Or at least level with the amount of fresh tyre runners we've now got. I mean, the difference in this tyre performance, we've got 13, 14 lap old hards going to be versus brand new soft tyres. Bubs, being the leader of that pack, is going to be on an absolute mission. He's going to have initial positions today. He has, and let me just check on Top Golf Log. Is he still ghosted in this race? He is, so that's one easy position. He's going to get himself thrown straight.
Credit to the brothers, so the reserve drivers today. Both still in this race, both still within good contention to score some points.
Deegan Eric.
It's just a bit of a bump. I saw some an end plate fly off there.
I saw that too, which is not what you want.
Hopefully, again, with the new designer cars, I don't think that's going to affect him too much. Hopefully.
Well, Deegan Eric's the one that's had the penalty. The question is, whose wing was it?
Let's have a look. It is Deegan Eric's. He has lost his left end plate. But, again, hopefully that shouldn't cost him too much time. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Commentator's curse hopefully not coming into play there at all. So Zonneveld again after qualifying, was it P3? I think he's had a really good recovery, race.
He's
again.
He's kept himself around the important positions, which is key.
Yeah, definitely. A few stings sitting up there again. P3, as you mentioned earlier. Again, he is just he's controlled that P3 for the majority of the race. Although he has been battling for it, he's kept his car firmly planted, nice and wide, so no one can really get past.
I must admit, I'm probably not a fan about how many of these have stayed on the hard tyres, but considering that Sting's his main capitalisation of this race was pitting onto those hard tyres to gain all those positions, potentially doesn't feel like he's got the outright pace challenge amongst all these soft and medium runners.
Yeah,
he potentially thinks maybe even if he loses those positions, he's still got a net win overall in terms of positions gained.
Exactly, and he's not going to want to undo his hard work. You know, he's fought tooth and nail to get all the way up to those podium positions. So, you know, to potentially take the risk to go onto the softs and not potentially have the pace.
As Deegan Eric is serving that 5-second penalty.
He can't serve it under the safety car.
You can serve those ones, I think. You can't serve drive-throughs, but you can serve penalties of this kind.
There we go, he's going to serve it. So Deegan Eric, who was up into P1 at one point, now moves all the way to the back of the grid at P14. It's just, he's been very unfortunate. He clipped a car there.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's not necessarily about where he thinks he can finish now. I just don't think he wants to spend the last 8 laps of this race thinking, just not driving an optimal car with that time deficit. I think he just wants to go racing with nothing hanging over his head.
Yeah, damage limitation for Eric. That's all he can really hope for now. Yeah, I mean, if he does come off up into sort of podium positions, then it'd be a bloody miracle, because he's got a lot of soft and medium runners in front of him that he's got to contend with as well. So yeah, damage limitation for Eric today. But you know, an amazing race, but it just hasn't gone his way today, unfortunately. But looks like the safety car's coming in this lap. Zonneveld's going to be controlling the pace again on those hard tyres.
He slowed down a bit there.
He did slow down a bit there. Keep our eyes on P7 to P14, because it's going to get very, very interesting on this restart.
Bubbs is in one hell of a position now. The world is his oyster as they take on this restart.
Zonneveld really slowing that pack down, making sure the heat are in those hard tyres.
He's not going too slow. He's nearly 100 miles an hour going through these final turns.
That's slow for an F1 car, Greg.
I've seen him come around this corner a lot slower. He's
going to save it to the line.
Slow.
Here he goes, and he's off. He's managed to get a good jump again on Thomas.
As Bubbs has already taken a few positions.
Ugit coming out of nowhere again, pulling up into P4, having to go off track though. Bubbs just capitalising that, taking the P4 position from him. It's going to be fighting tooth and nail. They got Arak again on the hards, just on his left hand side, going into turn 3, tucks it on the inside. Should have a better exit with those soft tyres, but he doesn't, unfortunately. It looks like Arak's just going to secure P5 for now. Bubbs really starting to get to work on these soft tyres. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well as Stings has done, I reckon this overtake is going to be no contest. Stings has got too many laps to keep this rampant green machine behind him.
It's going to be a sprint race now to the finish. Bubbs just got to get his head down, gain as many positions as he can. But again, with time penalties included as well, you know, he's definitely going to be moving up the grid. That's for sure. Just having a look now, Bubbs up the inside of Fuse, but again, just trying to gauge probably where his braking point is going to be for these softs against those hard tyres. Getting a better exit there on turn 10, coming up the straight now, using all that battery.
I mean, he was probably slow himself down if he doesn't take the position here, and he does.
Watch that turn. Oh, watch that sausage curb. Oh, it's just needs to take his time. Needs to take his time there. Turn 1. You can't be messing with that sausage curb. Unfortunately, it's too easy to beat your car.
Quite a lot of people don't quite recognise about that turn 1. It is slightly greater than a 90-degree turn. Just ever so slightly. As we're behind, we have Aruk and Lugit battling away. Lugit, who looked one of the favourites for this race, coming back into play. But he does have Aruk putting his car in all the right places.
Doing some great defending work on those hard tyres there. Now Alpine looking rather wide as we go into turns 7 and 8. A lovely racecraft there. Again, Bubbs still just on the rear there of Fuse Stings. Again, Fuse doing a great job, considering from where he's come to where he is now. You know, he's got everything to lose. You know, he's going to be putting that defence on like there is no tomorrow. Again, Bubbs trying to make a move up the inside. I think he's learnt from last lap just to be careful, chucking it up the inside of turn 1 there. He wants to get a better run out. DRS wide open, coming down the straight now. Again, speeds of up to about 205 miles an hour. He's going to chuck it on the inside. Turn 3, keeping it nice and tight, giving Fuse plenty of room there. He's going to have a better run off. No, he doesn't. Tucks it in for the slipstream on Fuse, but Fuse has a DRS. He's going to stay ahead for this lap. A lot of action going on down in P7. Neil has just managed to get past Brian, I think was that. Greg, did you catch that?
I didn't. I was following Deegan Eric, who's just seemed to once again, unfortunately, lost a bit of his front wing. But he's still making paces. He's back into the points. Well played to him. Now he's got those soft tyres, which will reduce the loss of downforce that he's got, and he's just throwing the car in. He's got a lot of confidence still.
Meanwhile,
he's got Jaws all over the back of him, but he is just making a few bad choices as Jaws in terms of where he's mounting his attacks, and he's just losing out.
Zonneveld just losing out to P1 there as we're coming down the start-finish straight. Thomas just taking P1 going into turn 1 there. Can Zonneveld get DRS for this next part?
I mean, he's still right on him, and I think he's going to say thank you for the DRS and have this straight back.
I'm surprised we've not seen any DRS games this race, although we don't promote them massively. I'm sure they're going to be a part of
the notes in the rule book are for this league. By all means, you are allowed to play them, but if you cause an incident whilst playing them, you are going to be penalised.
Heard it from the head
So
steward
there's a
himself.
small grey area just right there. You heard it from the head steward. Now Bubs has got past Stings, so now he's got clean air and 4 laps to chase down this battling top 2.
Still all to play for, only 1.5 seconds on those softs. 2 hard contention runners, again only 19 laps old, but you've got Bubs 6 laps old, soft tyres. It's still all to play for. This race has opened up massively.
And I think we have Top House Flogger, who has spanned off at turn 5. He has rejoined. That's unfortunate.
Zonneveld now completely out of ERS. It looks like the Haas. No, the Haas has still got 48%. He is capitalising on this now. Surely he's been quite clever. He's got the DRS wide open coming down that long straight, just getting past it on the outside, going into turn 3, breaking at that 50-metre board, and he's got the move done. But he just one ride on that sausage
goes
curb.
for an absolutely outstanding dive on Stings. Absolutely outrageous dive. And he's made it legally. Fantastic.
Legally. That was all Fuse could do on those hard tyres. You know, he's done great to defend.
Yeah.
But, you know, what can he do? You know, it's just a strategy at the end of the day. So Ujit and Bubs, the chase is now on between them two. Again, Bubs has already shaved a whole second away from Thomas. Yeah. So the race really is on now.
The money is on Bubs because Bubs has actually still managed to hold on to a little bit of ERS.
Again, with Zonneveld and Thomas battling, that's going to give Bubs even more of an opportunity to catch right up to him. So look, Bubs is now only 4 tenths away. Thomas is going to have DRS going down the straight.
Yeah. Thomas, out of this quartet, though, does have the most ERS to defend with.
This is going to leave Zonneveld so vulnerable going out into turn 1. He's going to have no ERS, no DRS. He's going to be a sitting duck.
Bubs goes wide!
Oh, he's just getting a bit impatient again going into turn 1.
I think he really wants this win. He really wants it. Now, if he wants it too much, though, he's going to leave himself vulnerable to lose it behind.
He's lost, so yeah, Bubs is now out of the DRS. He's put himself back 1.5 seconds.
I mean, a few braking zones he could gain this back, but it's one thing catching, it's another thing overtaking. Just because he catches doesn't mean those positions are his. I mean, the one to Thomas he may still have. I think as long as he keeps his tyres on the track, he should still have that P2.
Appledorn just giving some elite advice there, saying Zonneveld definitely needs to harvest some ERS ready for that last lap, because it really is going to come down to the wire. Bubs needs to do something now, really needs to get his foot to the floor if he's going to have any contention of catching up with Thomas, or better than that, Zonneveld. So Thomas again, just getting the move done.
Yeah, Lugic going a bit wide in an attempt to slingshot himself at Bubs, as Bubs has also given himself a 3-second time penalty.
Oh, Zonneveld's going to go on the charge again. Breezing past the Haas. But again, the Haas fighting side by side, answering back, coming into turn 3, again, keeping it nice and tucked on the inside. Ooh, but Thomas goes for the switchback, doesn't get it done. Definitely closes the door on Thomas there. From great move from Zonneveld.
I was just checking in with the Great Wall of Neil. He does have a little train behind him. He's got a little bit of distance to them, so he's keeping him at arm's length for now, potentially saving himself when he does need to do real defending on the last lap. We'll check in with him once again when it gets to that point.
Neil is the Alonso of the RLR, just holding up the rest of the pack, keeping them tucked behind nicely, doing a great job at defending. Ujit again just starting to creep up on Bubs, getting into that DRS zone there. Bubs again falling out of the DRS of Thomas. Thomas really hot now. I'm going to stay on board with Thomas and Zonneveld as they come and complete their last lap. Who is going to come off
Now,
P1?
I'm not sure if you've picked up on it, Ash, but Thomas has actually graduated from 3 seconds to 6 seconds worth of time penalties.
That is not good. Not good at all. Thanks for pointing that one out.
So Zonneveld just needs to play nice and easy now, because even if he drops a few positions here, this race win is still pretty much his. He just needs to keep his car amongst these drivers, and this race win is his. As Bubs takes a trip around the outside.
Bubs does move up into P2 though. Oh, this is going to be very tight. Looks like
Now I think
Thomas...
these are all looking for on-track glory. I think they care very little about what the classification's going to say.
However, that is going to move Arik and Deegan Eric up a further few positions based on the drivers that are in front of them.
Now I said I'd check in with Neil. He has jaws all over him.
Just going to stand by with Zonneveld as he comes across turn 10. The checkered flag is waving, and Zonneveld in the Ferrari brings it home to win the Austrian Grand Prix.
Bob second,
Zonneveld.
Lugic third. We have a few divers. Stings going down with his penalties, as does Thomas.
What an incredible race that was. I have a headache after keeping up with all the action after that one. That was insane.
Yeah, quite a few of different isolated battles there. Some cars going 3 abreast, 4, 5 car battles. And Bubs, I think, rightly so, getting the games drive of the day. He had to put a lot of work into regain a lot of positions after a few things maybe not going so right for him, but he was probably the most dangerous driver in terms of gaining positions going into those final laps. So well done to him for getting that P2.
Well done to Zonneveld as well, taking P13 again. P13. What am I saying? Well done to Zonneveld again for taking P1. Absolutely amazing result. Again, he raced hard. Again, especially taking the risk, not going onto those soft tyres. Ugit again, amazing race from everyone on the grid tonight. It was absolutely spectacular to watch. I'm really, really looking forward to what this season's going to be bringing at Silverstone next week.
Yeah, just goes to show sometimes you do have a multiple car cushion of tyres when you've got about a pack of 6, 7 slower compound tyres. By the time the cars have pushed through those, you've potentially got a relative car comparison to maybe challenge those faster cars behind you and just drag your car to the line, because the race has got to finish at some point and you've just got to be there in P1 for when it happens.
Yeah, Robbie just saying again, Bub's P11 in qualifying to P2. Wowzers, great race. Yeah, he definitely deserved driver of the day. In terms of commentators, practice session driver of the day, definitely for me it goes to Bubs. He's put on a great performance today.
Yeah.
And really
I'd
unlucky.
give a special mention to Stings.
Yeah, just about to mention him.
Because, yeah, especially mention the Stings. He played an absolute blind with a pit stop strategy. Maybe got a little bit lucky. His safety car did come out as he was sort of still sat in his pit box, but all the same, he took advantage of what the race had given him and found himself in a strong position, only being penalised by penalties in the end, taking him down to P7, but made the best of a bad situation.
Exactly. It was an amazing race to watch again, spectacular, and again, really, really looking forward to this season. From us at RLR, you can catch us on Thursday, where you will see the Elites Austria race unfold, followed by Friday, where you see the Championships race unfold. So again, thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on Thursday.
Yeah. Good evening, guys.